Hey game developers, welcome back to the channel. Level design is one of the most underrated aspects of game development, yet it's one of the most crucial elements of video games. Today we're looking at tips on how to enhance your level design for your next project. So, let's get into it. First up, we have cohesive themes. Using environmental storytelling can add depth to your levels and can draw players in and enhance the experience. You can achieve this by using overgrown vegetation to create an abandoned environment for a post-apocalyptic game. Placing story context in the form of ruins can also add that little bit of detail. That really goes a long way. So let's break this down into smaller categories to try and give you a sense of the small things you can add to your project. Visual consistency. Choose a color scheme that matches the atmosphere of your game. Adding props, architectural styles that fit the appropriate setting can help bring the design to life. Design based on game mechanics. For example, in an adventure game, using the level to determine a specific puzzle or exploration area can be great, but remember to keep it consistent. Enemies, collectibles, props should all reflect the theme of your game. As an example, in a hypothetical post-apocalyptic game, using rusted, broken down vehicles, damaged buildings can convey a sense of abandonment and danger. This visual consistency helps immerse the player in this game world. Now, let's talk about planning. Drawing up a blueprint or rough draft before jumping in and creating might sound like a lot of work for the average indie developer. Most indies want to jump in the engine and start building right away. We get it, we're indie devs. But planning and blueprinting will definitely help in the long run. So let's again break it down into small categories on tips on how to plan just a little bit better. Define your objectives. Determine the player's experience and what game mechanics will be showcased in this level. Spend a few hours deciding what the level is going to represent. Take a narrative process into consideration. This is one of the most fun parts of the process, in our opinion. Sketch a rough outline. Sketch out a rough outline of the level structure and its main areas. You don't have to be a professional artist. As long as you, the designer, know what you're looking at, you'll be fine. And finally, build a rough draft. Build a rough draft in your game engine, focusing on layout and flow rather than obsessing over the art and the overall design at the moment. Just prototype it. Make sure that your initial idea makes sense within the game. By planning ahead, you can avoid many pitfalls that might arise later. Think of it as creating a roadmap for your level design. Now, let's move on to detail and polish. After the layout is solid and prototyping is done, it's finally time to add those sweet final touches. Add the rest of the props and art needed. Continue testing to make sure the design makes sense, and then polish it. Here are some tips to guide you through the polishing stage. Final touches, add those small details that make the environment feel lived in. For instance, back to our hypothetical post-apocalyptic game, scatter debris, add weather effects and weather damage, incorporate ambient sounds to enhance immersion, and playtest. Continuously test your level to identify any issues with flow, difficulty, visual clarity. Get feedback from your friends. If possible, to gain different perspectives, it's always better to get feedback. Make necessary adjustments. This process is crucial to refining your level and ensuring it provides the best possible experience for your players. Detail and polish can make a huge difference. It's the difference between a level that feels thrown together and one that feels carefully crafted and immersive. Many of our favorite games' levels was carefully crafted with love, ambition, blood, sweat, and tears. A lot of times, these wonderfully crafted words go unnoticed due to the fantastic narratives or the wonderful gameplay mechanics. But it's always good to sit down, focus on the minor details, and appreciate what these wonderful game artists did for the love of the craft. And that's it for today's video. If these tips helped you out, leave a comment, like, subscribe for more game dev tips, tricks, tutorials, and devlogs. Thanks for watching, and happy game developing.